Ashford Spotlight TV presents Melanie live at B.B.Kings, Saturday, April 7th, 2012 at 8 p.m. Hello, I'm Christine Larkin with Ashford Spotlight TV. We're live in front of B.B.Kings in the heart of Times Square in New York City on this beautiful spring night. And Melanie will be live in concert around 8 p.m. You know Melanie from Woodstock, the legendary concert of 1969. She shared the stage with The Who, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. They all went on to write music history. And that event launched Melanie's career, and she hasn't stopped since. You know her hits from the 70s, Brand New Key, or the roller skate song, Lay Down, Look What They Done to My Song, Ma, and Ruby Tuesday. She'll be singing those tonight, and she'll also be singing some songs off her new CD, Ever Since You Never Heard of Me. And I will be interviewing her live behind stage after the show for an intimate one-on-one chat. I'm Christine Larkin with Ashford Spotlight TV. As we stepped inside B.B.Kings, we found the house packed with her fans, old and new, anticipating Melanie's arrival. As you can see, there was not one empty seat. We're live inside B.B.Kings. The room is filling up. She's going to take the stage around 8 o'clock. And I've got a fan, Barbara DeLessio, who's going to tell us a little bit about the first time she ever heard Melanie's music.
Well, I guess I was about 12. And I took one of my albums, I put some rubber bands around them, and I was singing Lay Down, Candles in the Rain. And ever since then, I was a huge, huge fan. I have everything, and I just love what she brings.
She brings such incredible positive energy, right?
Definitely. I love the sound of her unique voice. I saw her down at the Bottom Line, and a whole bunch of us heard her from the streets. Her voice was so strong. So.
You know, the Bottom Line doesn't exist anymore. Can you imagine? But B.B.Kings does. And she was here last year around this time, and she's back. She's got a loyal following. So tell us, how excited are you, and who are you here with tonight?
I'm with my sisters and my sister-in-law, and we're drinking some beers, and we can't wait to see her.
Feels like an old friend, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Barbara, so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the show. Rosemary Lido. Hi, Rosemary.
Hi, how are you? I was a little too young to go to Woodstock, but fell in love with Melanie when we heard Brand New Key. And my husband Tony and I decided if we ever had a girl, we were going to name her Melanie. And we did. She's now 28. Last year was the first time we got to see Melanie in person, right here at B.B. King. And we came back again this year to see her again.
How fantastic. And that was it? Was that the first time you saw her?
Yeah, really was, but it was great. Always played her records. Always.
Beautiful.
Always.
So a fan was born. And here we are again this year, same time of year that Melanie was here last year. So she's got a fan base that's probably filling the room tonight. Well, Rosemary, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Enjoy the show. I know we will. And
Thank you so much.
you're very welcome. I'm Christine Larkin with Ashford Spotlight TV. Now we're here with Bill Piddark, another big fan of Melanie's. Bill, is it your first time seeing Melanie?
Absolutely not. I've been following her since I was in college, actually. And this is the third time in 2 years I've seen Melanie.
So how did you first discover her?
I think I was 13 years old and wishing I could be at Woodstock and reading everything about Melanie at that point in time. And I've been a fan ever since.
That's wonderful, and that's what we're looking for tonight. We've got a room filled with loyal fans, and I'm sure some new. Well, you know, it's timeless music. It's folk, it's a little jazzy, a little rock. So what are you expecting from tonight's show?
Melanie always exceeds the expectation. I've always come away inspired. It's going to be a wonderful night.
We're here with another diehard fan of Melanie's, Craig Horsley from Queens. You know, Melanie grew up in Queens.
Yep, I know. I've been following her since 1970, I think.
How did you first discover her music?
My first album was Leftover Wine, the live concert, and I just fell in love with her, and I had every single album of hers through high school and college.
Is this the first time you're seeing her live?
Oh, absolutely not. I've been waiting for years for her to come back. I saw her at the Cutting Room. I saw her at B.B. King a few years ago, and I'm just so thrilled to see her again.
She was here last year around this time.
I was up in Boston with my friend's son, so I was like, I can't believe I'm giving up Melanie for you, but That's what family is for.
You know, she's got a new CD out, Ever Since You Never Heard of Me, and she'll be presenting some of her classic songs tonight, as well as some songs from the new album. It's pretty great. So what do you think? Are you ready to hear some new music?
Absolutely. I love her voice. Love her forever. She's just wonderful. I can't wait to hear her.
Well, thank you, Craig, so much for joining us. I'm Christine Larkin with Ashford Spotlight TV.
Beautiful people, and then you'll never have to be alone, 'cause there'll always be someone with the same button on as you. Include you in everything you do. Beautiful people, you ride the same subway as I do every morning. That's got to tell you something. We got so much in common. I go the same direction you do. So if you take care of me, maybe I'll take care of you. Beautiful people, you look like friends of mine. Yes, it's about time that someone said it here and now.
I'm Christine Larkin with Ashford Spotlight TV, and we're backstage at B.B.Kings with Melanie. She just got off the stage after a phenomenal concert, presented some old classics and a lot of new material, especially from her new CD, Ever Since You Never Heard of Me. So, Melanie, how was it
Every
tonight?
time I hear that title, it was amazing. It's New York, you know. No matter where it is in New York, it could be any little place, it could be a big place. It's New York, and I'm from New York, you know. So this,
Yeah, you're a native from Astoria, right?
I lived in New York City, and I was born in Astoria, Queens. My parents moved all over New York, and we lived in different parts of. We lived in Flushing and Astoria, and so boroughs, different boroughs.
Yeah, yeah.
New York City.
So how was it to step on stage again tonight? You were here last year around this time, right?
Time, yeah. I don't know what the deal is. I had
Spring.
Spring. It's rites of spring.
Yeah.
Melanie.
And newness and coming out again.
Yeah, symbolically, yes, it's newness. And as you said, we were talking, and you said that you sense that it's a new beginning, and it really is. You know, my husband passed away. He was the producer, the manager, the person who booked my concerts. He did everything. I mean, I never drove. I never had to talk to people on the telephone. I never faced an angry word. He just protected me from everything, and now it's all come rushing in. You know, all of the stuff that he had to deal with is now on me, and I think I'm stronger than I thought I was, because I think he was so protective that I never got a chance to practice, you know, being tough.
And maybe there was someone inside of you that really wanted to speak out, and now it's your chance. You presented some absolutely gorgeous music tonight. You know, the Hushabye, and I Tried to Die Young, and Smile.
Isn't Smile beautiful? I love Smile. Bo and I wrote that after 9/11. It was our first thing that we wrote after 9/11. We couldn't write. We couldn't do anything. You know, we were just numb. And then that was it was just that thing that happens when people share a tragedy. You know, that connectedness, that little bit of a nice thing that comes out of you. It's unfortunate that it takes something as horrific to bring that stuff out, in people.
When I was listening to the lyrics of that song and you said something about kind of catching someone's eye on the street, and for that moment, it's such a beautiful moment, isn't it? Yeah. It's the human condition at its finest. Yeah. It's like, wow, yeah. You don't even have to say a word. And after 9/11, that's what happened. People were connecting at the most basic level. And tell us like, where were you when that song came to you?
We were in Florida. We were living in Florida, and Bo had just turned 21 on that day. He's a 9/11 boy, and we were waiting. Actually, someone was coming from New York to bring him a very special guitar. He didn't know he was getting, and of course, it was disjointed. The information, and then, wait a minute, it's his birthday, and it's the information, and then it's his birthday, and how is this possible? How is this possible? What can we do? I mean, this is his birthday, and he's going to be 21, and we can't celebrate. We were crying, but people came over. The people who were going to come to celebrate, they all came, and we just sat quietly and we held hands and we cried. And
where were you? Were you in Nashville?
No, we were in Florida.
You were in Florida.
We were in Florida. Okay. That's where we were living at the time. Okay. And of course, the man who was going to bring Bo's guitar he was living right across the river from the Twin Towers, and he called hysterical. I mean, it was. It's like watching a mountain go down or something. I mean, that was a part of his landscape for as long as he lived there, and it wasn't there anymore. I mean, the devastation and his. I mean, he of course couldn't get on the plane. Jordy, my daughter, was en route to see us, and the planes, of course, were not coming.
What struck me after 9/11 was the silence, the birds. I remember the next morning, I couldn't hear the birds, and I went, oh my God, there are no birds, there's no sound. That was very disturbing to me. So in the next coming days, I started feeding them. And eventually, about a week later, they came back. I see you getting a little emotional. I know I can hardly talk about it myself without getting very choked up. So, let's talk quickly about this new beginning for you.
Yeah.
What is this time like today, at this April 7th, 2012? What is it like for you, and what was it like tonight to present your songs?
It was really, usually I feel this obligation to do the songs that people know, and tonight I almost forgot to do them all together, and it didn't feel like anybody would have a hissy fit or anything. It just felt really, really fine to be doing this. And
well, you've got so much great new stuff. I mean, just amazing. What's one of your favorites off of the album?
I think Smile is, and well, I Tried to Die Young too. Oh, I didn't do Kiss from the Heart. I love A Kiss from the Heart. Okay. That was
You'll have to do it. You're going to Woodstock in June, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gesture, throwing a kiss. It really, I mean, you can almost see it,
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, it vibrates.
And the lyric has to do with that, a kiss that is sent from the hand through the air to a love who is leaving from here to God knows where, is millions of light years from where it all starts, when a kiss on the lips was a kiss from the heart.
You're very sweet. You still have that youthfulness. It right? A little shy. I know, it's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
I'm almost a virgin.
Where have the years gone?
Really. I mean, because I was married for 45 years in a very conventional, marriage, and
how lucky you were to have that love for so long. How beautiful.
People have always said that, but when it goes away, it's unimaginable, really. It's unimaginable.
So how are you coping? What gets you through?
I don't know. People were giving me all kinds of little pills, but I didn't want to take them because I sensed, if I can't get through this without some assistance, if I take this assistance, I'm afraid, that I might think I have to have that assistance, and I think it's possible that could have happened. But I have them, even though they're 2 years old. I have all these little pills. Some of them are pink and some of them are white, and they're different, mood things. And I look at them, and I think, yeah. But it's nice to know they're there.
Right, a little security. But the music must get you through, no?
Well, of course, that's it. When it happened, we were on the road, and Bo and I just continued doing the gigs that Peter had booked. And 2 days after, it was the only thing I could do. I couldn't imagine just not singing, and it's where I feel he's present more than any other time is when I'm on stage singing.
Well, that's beautiful. And the song Hushabye, was that inspired by the current state of affairs?
Yeah, and obviously, I guess. I don't know. Some songs I do sense where they came from, but that particular one, it was the melody first. And I kept hearing the word hushabye, hushabye, and that melody, and then it filled itself in.
And you wrote that very quickly, right? Yeah. Wasn't that like 15 minutes? I think it was really came to you. Sometimes that happens. The melody and the lyrics come all at once in a rush, and then that's it. You have a hit. So, speaking of hit, what would you like to have be your next signature song?
Oh, gee, signature.
Like Brand New Key, but hey, it's time for a new signature song, right?
Nice, yes.
Have you even thought about that? Does it matter?
I guess no. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't really. Okay. I guess. I'd like to have something more poetic. I personally love Falling Awake. That's we haven't recorded it yet, and there's a bunch of new songs I haven't recorded yet.
So you are writing all the time? Okay. So you've got a couple of more CDs in the works, really.
Yes, really.
And you love, of course, working with your son, Bo Jared. He's so talented. Wow, he's got his own style,
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about what's next. I know you're going to Woodstock in June. Mm-hmm. When was the last time you were there?
I guess one of the last reunions. I don't remember. I did all of them,
Okay.
all of those forbidden ones, and then the sanctioned ones, and the renegade ones. And Jimi Hendrix's father introduced me at one of them, and it was the one where they didn't have permission, of course, and they would do all kinds of things to try to stop people from assembling on the field. Unfortunately, the spot has been, they stuck a cement dome on it.
Oh, and really? Things always change. Why is that?
Well, it's not the changing that's, it's just, it's the way it changed. And,
and then you're doing...
I think it's named after a bank or something. They're all named after
banks. They are, right? Now I know. What about the Woody Fest?
Yeah, I'm gonna in Oklahoma. Cool. I know. I've never done Woody Fest, and I sing several Woody Guthrie songs.
Yeah, he was amazing, American icon, right?
Yeah. I often think about where would he position himself right now? I wonder.
Interesting.
I think
he'd probably be out there with Occupy, don't you think?
Occupy Wall Street. I love that.
Arlo's around with it.
I love.
So's Pete. So's David Amram.
Yeah, but it's sort of getting a political agenda that isn't really there. The most important part is, the part that presidents have been killed for. So we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, really, we don't need to go there. Let them do that dirty work. So then after Woody Fest, what are you doing?
Oh,
You've
I'm
got your
doing
show coming out
a couple of. Oh, yes, I'm going to
later in this
Rochester,
year. Tell us
and
about
we're
that.
developing a. Well, when Peter passed away, he had. Well, on this tour, he kept saying, "Melanie, you've got to write a book. You've got to write a book." And I could never get the chronological order of things right. I don't know which happened first. And he said, "Don't worry about it. Just start writing things, and then worry about the order later." And he brought me a beautiful leather book, and he said, "I want you to start writing." So I took the book and I had it, and I never started writing anything. And the night that he passed away, I looked at the book, and I opened it, and it was empty, and I thought, this is really, this is how it begins. It's Peter's story. It's really Peter's story, because his story is so interwoven in mine. And I really don't think there would have ever been a Melanie if there wasn't a Peter. Because he was the one. I was shy. I was an introvert. I didn't see myself as a celebrity. I didn't want people to look at me. I hate it. I just wanted to be an archaeologist or in the Peace Corps, or something of service to mankind. And I love to
But I think you have been with your music, and it was sort of like a destiny the way you met Peter. Oh my goodness.
Strange meeting. Well, I was supposed to be going to an acting audition. I went to the building and realized I didn't have the address, the number of the suite where it was. So I asked the doorman, and there was a doorman then in full uniform, and he just said, "Well, go to 511. They're always doing weird things there." So I just did, and I met these music publishers. I didn't even know what a publisher did. They were Hugo and Luigi, and they had just hired Peter Schickerick to run their production company because they were writing a Broadway show. I stumbled into this office by mistake. I met the secretary, and I realized it wasn't the right place, and I started to cry, and she was going to help me find the place where they were doing this audition, and because it was for a part that called for a girl to play the guitar and sing, and that was very unusual because Broadway theater itself wasn't, they didn't have too many parts for girls who played the guitar and sang. So I felt that this was my destiny, I had to be there. And through this, I'm sitting in the office crying, and Hugo and Luigi walk in and say, "What do you want?" Give her an appointment, Joyce. We'll set her up for Thursday. And that's when I met Peter. And
Unbelievable. And was it love at first sight?
It was definitely love at first sight for him. For me, I was, I was too oblivious. I never knew, if people liked. I never got that flow. They'd have to have me in the bed before I figured, I think he likes me. I was never one of the.
That could be a better thing than just do they like me?
I never got it. So, yeah, it was definitely. He looked at me, and that's what I want. and
look at that.
Yeah.
Look at what you did together all these years. It's pretty incredible. So now what's next after you go to Woodstock, the Woody Fest? Your show's coming out in October up in Rochester. It opens, and it's called, tell us the name.
Melanie and the Record Man.
A musical.
A musical with my original music in it and some new songs. And
Beautiful.
And there's a Nicolette Hart is going to play the young Melanie. And then I'm going to be a narrator.
Oh, okay.
Telling the story.
So this is a stage show, and it's a story of your life, basically, told through song.
Through the music and some narration, and again, when I started to write the story, it was that night, that I put it down. I didn't dare touch that book that he gave me, the empty book, but I started writing sometimes you don't know it's a story until it has an end. So that's how it began, and that's how I'll continue.
It sounds absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to see it. So you're now going to go out there and play some more music in some more clubs around the country. Yeah. You're going to Germany for a little while. You're very busy. You've got like a full year.
Yeah, I need to keep busy.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be hanging around too much. But,
all right. Well, we just loved seeing you here tonight. B.B.Kings in Times Square in New York City. It's been absolutely wonderful.
So many people. You can't even walk down.
Can you believe how different Times Square is? I was telling my friends here that back in the 70s, it was like, woo, if you made it down 42nd Street, you were tough, right?
Really, really. And when I remember when I was little, I used to be taken to the Easter parade like nothing.
I'm going tomorrow.
Oh, you are? I was thinking about it. I was thinking, oh, yeah. I know, that might be nice.
In your
Easter bonnet, with all the frills upon it, you'll be the grandest lady in the Easter parade.
Oh, you heard it here. The Easter Parade in New York City. Well, I want to thank you so much for letting me interview you tonight. It's just been such a treat, and your music is absolutely beautiful. You know, I'm an old folkie working with Pete Seeger, and we just had David Amram on the show before you, and they're all out there. These guys are like in their 80s and 90s, Melanie. Yeah. Can you believe it? You could be around all those. Sometimes it's hard to see.
Well, I never thought I was going to live this long. You know, I would have made.
Why? Why did you think?
I don't know. Maybe because the good die young. I don't know. I just never sensed that I was the person who would live long.
Well, you've got a new beginning. It feels like a new start. Yeah. You know, and you want to come out with these new songs. The CD, Ever Since You Never Heard of Me, is just amazing. You've got some really gorgeous material. I wish you all the best with that new CD. You know, get it out there. Everybody should buy it and listen to it. I spent the other night cooking. I was telling MJ that I just was cooking, and I listened to the album like 3 times. And then I had it on today. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Melanie, B.B.Kings in Times Square in New York City. I'm Christine Larkin with Ashford Spotlight TV.